Nigeria's quest for a cashless economy has been long coming and progressively getting there with the introduction of automated teller machines, ATM cards, that have reduced drastically the need to carry cash around. With encumbrances of time and need to close deals on the go in a fast-evolving economy, internet banking and mobile apps came in handy to provide services never imagined. It became another alternative to holding an ATM card either home or abroad. With the federal government's quest to provide inclusion for the unbanked population, among other gaps required to be closed in financial transactions, the point of sale, POS, was introduced in banking house, then to the markets, and it helps traders reduce cash volume erstwhile that needed to be deposited in banks after the day's business. For many, it was a huge load off their backs, apart from reducing the risk of being attacked by hoodlums, as within minutes the cash finds comfort in your bank account and only the call confirming same. Well, the POS has gone from being a payment option to some sort of bank itself, particularly in rural areas. Now, you can make deposits, withdraw, and transfer all for a little token, sparing everybody the journey to the banking halls, which have been greatly decongested to this. But we all know that it hasn't all been rosy. Yes, we got the ease, but along with it, we have to deal with the risks that once were a cup of tea of commercial banks. Stick with us on this episode as we look at the POS as a business and financial resource from all sides. Amotola Omojola is my name, and this is Dateline 360. In today's digital era, Nigeria is witnessing a transformation in how money moves. From crowded banking halls to street corner agents with POS devices, financial services are now closer than ever. In our first report, Musa Abubakar tracks the rise of the POS system and how it is reshaping financial inclusion, digital payments, and the economy at large.
Before 2012, banking in Nigeria was a privilege for the few. But that changed when the Central Bank of Nigeria launched its agency banking model. At the heart of this shift was the point-of-sale system, POS, a tool now revolutionizing everyday transactions.
POS is relatively more easier than using ATM. If you go to ATM stands, there are always long queues, and sometimes they can even swallow your card. POS, although there's charges and all, but I feel as if the assurance that even if they withdraw money from me and I'm debited and the person does not receive the money, I have somebody that I can actually see and do follow up about the information.
Before the POS was invented, I usually go to the ATM to withdraw money, which was kind of difficult for me. POS has been invented. It's much easier for me because I can just come out of my house and I need money to go somewhere. I'll just look by my right or by my left. I'll just see a person that is using POS, then I'll go and withdraw.
POS has been a very good idea to people that brought it into this country, and it has made things easier.
From Lagos to Lafia, POS terminals are making financial access a reality, especially in underserved regions.
Over the last 10 years, we have seen more numbers of Nigerians. I think at the last count was about 70% of Nigerians, are now included in banking activities. So when we are talking about this inclusion in banking activities, it is not about actually people patronizing a formal bank. You now have fintechs, you have banks that have their own POS, you have financial technology bodies, entities that have their own POS too, and there's a deliberate policy by different banks to have as many POS dispersed across the country, especially where you have what you call underserved communities, where you don't have existence of banks in terms of branches, typical physical mortar and pillar branches. So you have the POS representing banks there and performing the function of banks.
The NIBSS reported an explosion in usage from just over 20 million transactions in 2014 to nearly 1 billion by 2021.
Since I'm already into Pumpy and OPay, I majorly use those apps instead if I'm not using my card for POS.
While banks remain the backbone of the financial system, POS operators serve as nimble frontliners, bridging the gap and driving a cashless economy. From its humble beginnings to playing a central role in Nigeria's financial ecosystem, POS is proving that technology can serve as a greater equalizer. As Nigeria moves further into the cashless future, POS remains at the heart of inclusive growth and development. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, reporting for Dateline 360.
The point-of-sale POS system is becoming one of the largest employers of labor. As at 2024, it is believed that there were over 1.9 million POS terminals across the country, and the number keeps growing. Tina Toro reports on how POS agents fill the gap created by limited bank access and long queues at automated teller machines, as she explores how this platform is contributing to ease of doing business in Nigeria.
The POS business in Nigeria is evolving, as it is not just about cash withdrawals, but also financial inclusion, digital services, and entrepreneurial innovation. From major roads to street corners and small shops, POS terminals can be sited, bringing about the ease in doing business as Nigerians have embraced the digital innovation.
We don't normally go to banks now to go and line up in ATM as before. The truth is we find things easy and it's good.
POS, of course, have generated a lot of job opportunity for the youths.
The POS has helped businesses improve customer service, offering convenient payment options and faster transactions.
Without POS, we cannot even do a business because it's the means of our income now.
Before now, you see people coming to markets with, in fact, in some cases, you see them coming to markets with lots of cash, and that exposes them to several risks. The risks involved are being mitigated to cashless policy.
Security threats, network failures, rising cost of operation, and regulatory pressures, however, are real concerns.
All the bodies are concerned with this, the CBN and other monitoring fund agencies should come about to ensure strong policies that will ensure that these POS are used in the right way, so that people do not use to fraud citizens and other ways. So there should be strong policy that will regulate the function of the POS operators.
The problem now is the charges, because the federal government has increased the charges for withdrawal and for cashing. That's why we are having much problem in the market. A customer can come to your shop, and if the purchase is not up to that amount, you can just allow him to go.
In as much as there's a good side to the cashless policy, I think the shortcomings are unawareness. People need to be educated, and one of the major challenges we have now, it's the infrastructural gap. Infrastructural gap in the sense that we don't have enough infrastructure, especially in the rural areas, in terms of network for them to access their banking platforms. So I think this is one of the major challenges we've been facing. And then enlightenment is also, most of our people are not enlightened. There's a fear of fraud cases. There are a lot of fraud cases going on with the advent of cashless policy.
The Borno State government is working towards expanding the scope of the POS system for financial inclusion and youth empowerment.
We have a state microfinance bank, which has been in existence. But what the state government, under the leadership of Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, has done is to recapitalize the microfinance bank. Before now, it was just one branch within Maiduguri. So for us to be in tune with the cashless policy being enacted by the CBN, what the government did was to recapitalize this bank so that we'll be able to open more branches in other locations, in all the geopolitical zones. We have one coming up in Goza, and then in Bama and in Mongomo, which are presently under construction rehabilitation. We're trying to set up the banks in those locations so that our banking services will reach the corridors of those that are not privileged enough to, come into town and have their accounts and other few. So by doing so, we are trying to look at a payment gateway. That gateway allows us to have independence of our own banking platform, payment solution, so that we don't subscribe to other third-party applications. By doing so, we'll have more hardware point-of-sale machines, that is the POS, which we can give out to our teaming youths. That way, we're going to provide lots of employment through that. And then not only employment, after we provide employment, it is going to act like a pool of revenue for the states.
As Nigeria trudges on towards the cashless economy, embracing digital innovations for seamless transactions, the POS system continues to serve as a veritable tool in addressing youth unemployment and ensuring inclusion to even the digitally illiterate. In Maiduguri, Tina Toro, Dateline 360.
A thriving venture nowadays. The point of sale business has become vital in Nigeria's financial landscape, more evident in commercial hubs like Lagos. As cashless policies expand, many entrepreneurs are investing in POS services to facilitate seamless transactions. Jesoton Moses, in this next piece, examines what it takes to start a POS business in terms of capital base and the role of financial institution in its success.
Lagos thrive on trade, making financial transactions essential. To start a POS business, entrepreneurs must first register with the Corporate Affairs Commission (CAC) for business legitimacy. They must also obtain a financial license from a commercial bank or financial institution, acquire necessary permits, and comply with transaction fee structure set by service providers.
To start a POS business is not something that is much. In fact, we can start with a little amount of money. It's now depending on the way you handle the business.
If you have like 50k, you can start, but it depends on, if you have like 50k now, you won't go like higher transaction like 20, 30, just because you know your money is not much. You can do like 5 to 10,000. From there, keep on upgrading to like 100, 150, 200.
The business is flexible, allowing operators to set up in market areas, residential neighborhoods, and high-traffic locations where cash transactions remain common.
Some marketers that they are busy, they won't have to go to bank and be stressing themselves to deposit some money. And some people, I think now they can't even give up to 200 or 300 in bank again. But we as a POS owners, we can be able to give them, because we collect money, some cash from people that are selling inside markets, then we give people.
It's more accessible, like there are mobile agents all around that you can easily access, unlike the banks that are not so close by. So I prefer POS.
It's close to my side, and it is stress for me to go to bank to go and withdraw. And sometimes if I go to bank, they used to give me the maximum amount I want to withdraw for bank. But when I go to POS, it can give me any amount I like.
Without POS systems, businesses will face cash shortages, long bank queues, and inefficient manual transactions. POS technology has bridged the gap, offering efficient digital payment solutions for individuals and businesses alike. A standard POS transaction is simple. A customer presents their debit or credit card for withdrawal, transfer, or bill payments. The agent inserts the card into the POS terminal. The customer enters the PIN, and the transaction is processed instantly, generating a receipt.
They don't like carrying cash all along, so they just come to their market with their ATM card. So they'll just say, madam, I want to transfer. Oh yeah, bring your POS. So I'll just say, okay. They'll just input their PIN and pay my own money, and they will go. So POS is just fastest means of buying market and selling market.
Despite these benefits, cash transactions still dominate. To encourage digital payments, financial institutions must reduce transaction fees, expand network coverage, and ensure reliable 24/7 service. Awareness campaign and financial incentives can also boost adoption.
Challenges we're facing now is that if you want to come and withdraw now, the maximum withdrawal on one ATM card on a machine is 100,000. You can't do more than that. So if I have somebody that wants to withdraw, probably maybe like 200,000, I have to use my 2 POS to withdraw it.
One guy wants to arrest me because of 10,000 naira, which is bank network issue. That they will come to me and they'll be like, they debited me, network is not good, all that kind of thing. It affects our own business too.
Security is critical in digital transactions. POS systems use encryption and compliance measures to protect customers' data, following industry regulations like the Payment Card Industry Data Security Standards. Regular software updates and fraud detection tools enhance security and build trust. As Lagos continues to grow, POS businesses stand at the forefront of financial convenience and innovation. With proper regulations, enhanced security, and increased public awareness, Nigeria moves closer to a fully cashless economy. For Dateline 360, Jesuton Moses.
Still looking at the pros and cons, the POS business within a decade of operations control about 50% of banking activities daily. Obey Otobo Aprasad inquires how well this financial service platform is changing lives in Benin City.
Nigeria's Apex Bank introduced the POS in 2013 with the aim of modernizing the banking system. It promotes the cashless and digital banking policy.
The POS has come to the rescue of a nation that finds it difficult to provide employment for its citizens. Of course, when you see for every, 10, 20 meters you go through on a busy street, you see a POS, operator. So on that side, it has provided, employment by doing what financial institutions could not, do.
The latter terms of POS machines deployed increased from 2.4 million, at the end of 2023 to 5.5 million in 2024. With technological advancements, the POS business transactions has ballooned, in Nigeria. And in the process, it has impacted various segments of the economy.
Retired civil servant Matthew Sunday is among the millions of Nigerians who have embraced this method of financial transaction. He says his preference stems from the limitless cash withdrawals available for POS users as opposed to what is obtained in the banking halls.
The process is that POS is normally do good for me. When I go to the bank now, I usually do stress myself before I can get money. But when I get to the POS, any amount when I like, I will just collect the money sharp.
While the POS system has had major positive socio-economic impact, such as job creation and providing avenue for medium and small business owners to conduct cashless transactions, issues of failed cash deposit due to connection failure has, however, left bitter taste in the mouths of some users. Mercy Ojo is one of the victims.
Sometimes when you want to withdraw, your money would hang for like 2 days. There was a time I went to the market, I almost ran mad because I tried to withdraw. After withdrawing, they said they've not gotten a lot, so I had to wait for hours.
For the POS operators and agents whose profit margin is continuously shrinking, from the multiple transaction fees, they have had to devise means of beating the competition from the rising number of POS agents who are flooding Benin Metropolis. These new charges now, how is it affecting the business?
It's affecting us badly because it's not making customers to come and patronize us as it's supposed to be. So we are just managing it to consider people so that we too will still have small thing to use at the end of the day for ourselves.
Just like every business, the POS system is not without risks, with its major security challenge being mainly from online account hackers and internet fraudsters.
It's advisable to always privatize their network. Don't connect your POS machine to a public network. Don't mistakenly connect data from a friend who you don't trust or a customer just because you don't have network. With that one alone, they can siphon your data.
If we can adopt this blockchain technology, whereby when a transaction is being done within a chain, at least we will be able to trace the line of transaction, and any other one could not just come into that transaction. So from the time that the transaction is initiated to where it is completed, from that blockchain, it could be traced and maintained.
Experts advocate periodic sensitization campaigns and provision of digital signature by the relevant government and private agencies to mitigate the risk of innocent Nigerians losing billions of naira annually. For Dateline 360, Obehi Utubo Apresai.
The POS is said to be an evolution that has transformed the financial sector and created in its trail an all-inclusive economy. Dora Enwe in this report takes a look at the opportunity, expansion, gains, and necessary regulations needed for the emerging cashless economy.
The advent of point of sale POS has created opportunity for seamless business transactions, eliminating the drudgery, risk, and wasteful consumption of time lining up in banks that are in short supply in Onitsha. The point of sale POS operation has revolutionized business transactions by adding value propositions of form, time, place, and position to business activities in the commercial city of Onitsha. Business operators and agents speak on the convenience, opportunity, and inclusiveness the advent of POS has added to their businesses.
Helps a lot, especially during the cashless era. That was when I realized how important it is. Even people use it more often than cash.
Sometimes if the network is poor, or maybe we're having network issue, it affects our business based on when someone comes to withdraw and you cannot withdraw for the person, or you want to make transfer, you could not deliver that transfer. You know, it will make you lose customers.
Transaction with debit can be traced through your banks. And what we only do as POS operators is to give you your debit receipt to go to your bank. After, though sometimes we can escalate it. If we log it in, the company will now tell us if it was a successful transaction or if it was your bank issue.
Financial experts are of the view that the gain of POS cannot be overemphasized, maintaining that it keeps the country in track with the developed world, which is deploying the use of artificial intelligence in her daily activities. They had a consensus of opinion that POS is a viable option for all-inclusive economy.
Before now, you can imagine, if you want to pay your customer or your business partner for a consignment or for any services, it takes you time. You have to queue up in a bank. But with the advent of POS, you can do that at the comfort of your office. But by the advent of POS, it has emptied our banking hub, now giving opportunity to bankers to focus on professionalism in their activity and perfect their jobs.
Speaking on the regulatory framework as a panacea for stemming the tide against economic impulsion, fraud, and protection of the vulnerable, they maintain that the regulatory agency should ensure proper screening and identification of the operators for the benefit of consumer rights and balance security and security concerns.
Not minding the the advantages we are enjoying from POS operators, there's also need to regulate their activities.
Most banks today, if you go to the normal ATM, you can do your print. So in the same way they link to the bank, in the same way that they should have an apparatus that will allow me either print as for the blind, or say something, or face recognition that will synchronize with the bank and then identify that I am the person.
As Nigeria moves towards a more cashless economy, there is a consensus of experts' opinion that the trace of every data and kobo in the system will create the security needed for efficiency and enhance confidence among the chain of operators. In Onitsha, Dora Enwe reporting for Dateline 360.
That has been Dateline 360 for this week. I am Omotola Omojola. On behalf of the production crew, I thank you for the pleasure of your company. God bless Nigeria.